So our today's agenda will be first one will be cloud computing, then we'll go through with PaaS, SaaS, and IaaS. Introduction about Salesforce architecture and Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, and other clouds which are available in Salesforce. Salesforce editions and environment, and all the releases of Salesforce and the App Exchange. Yeah. So first one is cloud computing. So as you all know, that cloud computing is nothing but the like computing or any internet-based computing, which is like available on a server hosted on the internet. So we need to access, we need a internet connection to access that storage or that file to process our data and also that is cloud computing. So it is not like we don't need to store or install any software and any like if we want to store any file or any image in our like in storage, then we don't need to store in our computer. We just like Google Drive, there are drive available, Google Drive and Outlook Drive and all. So we just log in there. We should have internet. We should just log in there and we put our anything like here we are sharing our data like drive in spreadsheet, and we'll be sharing our recording as well. So that is only the cloud computing. So the basic example of cloud computing is the Gmail and the Google Drive. So that is cloud computing. Cloud also, yeah, it is a virtual space. Uh, as you all know, that cloud computing is the basic, so it's a virtual space. We don't need any infrastructure. We don't need like any platform. We just need a computer and an internet connection, and we can share our files and we can access via any device, via phone, via laptop, via desktop, via tablet, anything. So this is cloud computing. Any any concern, any issue, any question on that? Okay. If there is no
No.
issue, yeah. Yeah. So anyone if having any question after the topic, you can ask. Yeah. Someone was asking, I guess. Hello.
I think it's some glitch or the some
Are you guys able to hear?
yeah, I think there are
Yes,
someone.
yes.
You can continue, Radhi.
Okay, okay, okay. So yeah. So our next is SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. So SaaS is nothing but the software as a service. So here Salesforce is a part of SaaS. Yeah, Salesforce is a part of PaaS as well, but the platform only. So software of like Salesforce is a part of SaaS, software as a service. So this is it's a software where we don't need to worry about anything like nowadays what's happening. So I'll let me give you this example first. So uh, take this example, new pizza as a service. So here it's a traditional way of making like made in house pizza. So let's assume that we don't have the infrastructure, like we don't have the recipe, all the flour and the kitchen gas and also so that is something the traditional one. So we need to, we should have kitchen gas, oven, pizza dough which are flours and all, and topics and cook. So this is the traditional one, and the aas is nothing but the platform where kitchen gas and oven is provided by the aas service provider, and we have to take care of the pizza dough, toppings, and cook the pizza. So three of them are provided by the service provider, and three of them we need to care about. And the pass is the more like I can say the more services they will be providing. So pass is nothing but a platform where they will be providing kitchen, gas, oven, and the pizza dough as well. But we need to care of toppings and cook the pizza how like we say in Hindi, like namak swadhanusar or like that. So we can if we want more toppings, we can put more toppings. If we want less, we can put less. So that is something about pass. And so SaaS, software as a service, is everything. Like the provider will be providing kitchen, gas, oven, pizza dough, toppings, and cook. They will cook the pizza, and they will also deliver. Right now they have not added this, but nowadays, like the Swiggy and the Zomato are there, so they will also, like, they will take care of that as well, and that they will deliver the pizza to our door. So SaaS is like that. So we don't need to care about anything. Everything is ready. Everything is provided by the vendor provider. So vendor will be managing all those services which are green here, and we have to take care of the services which are blue here. So yeah, got it? Or any issue here? It's a simple example of like SaaS, PaaS, and AaaS. I can say that. Or here you can read if you want. So I'll be sharing this presentation with you all, so that after this session, you guys can go through with this also. So yeah, platform is nothing but the platform will be provided by the provider, and they will be like creating a software on that platform, and the users or employees will be creating apps and the objects and also platform as a service is that, and infrastructure as a service is which is we have to we will create a application where we have to take care of all the relationships of the object and all. So it's like that. So it's something related to pizza as a service. This is another example of SaaS, PaaS, and AaaS. So in AaaS, we have a like we have more I can say the end user will be having more number of work. So we need to take care of the server storage as well. We need to take care of the infrastructure building and all. So this is the AaaS. PaaS is where we don't need to like how can I say, like a company. So AaaS is a company. So where they need to take care of the office, they need to take care of their employee salary, they need to take care of the infrastructure, and they need to take care of all those things. So AaaS is that which they will be providing all those things by customizing. And PaaS is something who are working on the, the freelancer kind of thing. So you guys know about freelancer. So freelancer, they don't need to take care of the infrastructure. Don't need to take care of any employees and all. They are working their own, and then they will just building application. They will just working on the product and will be delivering to the client. So pass is nothing but the freelancer, and SaaS is the end user who are using that product. So they don't need to take care of anything which are taking by infrastructure and platform. So they even don't need to build the program. They even don't need to take care of any infrastructure or any employees and all. They will just use the platform or the software. So the end user are here is the part of SaaS. So Salesforce provides that kind of functionality here. So this is also a another example of SaaS, PaaS, and AaaS. So yeah, that is SaaS parts and art. Now we are on the main thing, which is Salesforce. So what is Salesforce, and what is the main role of Salesforce here in this cloud computing, as well as in those software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. So till now, and if you are having any issue, please, if you are not able to speak, or if you don't want to speak, you can put your message on the chat as well, so that I can look and will reply you back. Okay. So now Salesforce. So Salesforce is an American-based cloud computing company which provides software as a service to their customer, and founded by Mark Benioff in 1999. So this is so Salesforce 20 years ago, 21 now I can say now. Sorry, 21 years ago, Mark Benioff, who was working before in Oracle as a I don't know which role was there, but he was a senior kind of like CEO or CTO kind of person. So who he left that company, Oracle, and started their own company called Salesforce. And because Oracle have denied to work on the cloud thing that time, and the cloud was very new that time. So Mark Benioff has decided to build a product which totally based on cloud. So he started that company, and in March 1999 started Salesforce. So Salesforce is simple thing. We don't need to install anything in our computer. We don't need to we just need to go open our browser and log in. It's like Facebook and any Twitter like thing. So we just go to our browser, open the URL, and just log in, and we can access everything. So for everyone, for the end user, for the developer, for the partners, so for everyone, they don't need to install anything in their local machine. You just need to go to their website and log in, and you can access everything. So it's fully based on cloud computing. Salesforce is among one of the best web-based, flexible, and powerful database provider now in the market as well. So, uh, and it provides CRM services and more of CRM. This provide all the like Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Analytics Cloud, Marketing Cloud, Commerce Cloud, and Community Cloud. So there are more number of clouds which are working separately by their on their own topic. Like if I'll ask, if I'll say about Sales Cloud, then Sales Cloud is it's totally focusing on the sales side. So what is going on through the sales process, which is taken care by Sales Cloud. So Service Cloud is taken care by all the part of servicing the customer. So there are more number of clouds available by Salesforce. So it's totally fully serviced by CRM, and you can build your own application if you are not if there is a application called Sales Cloud. If you are not if you are thinking that it's not enough for me, so that you can build your own functionality. You can like add functionality, you can remove functionality, you can create your own, you can code, even you can like customize that, you can automate functionality. So there are like many number of functionality which you can use in Salesforce. We'll be talking on that as well. So now Salesforce CRM. So the world's number one CRM is the Salesforce right now, and it is very easy for any for any kind of business, whether it is a small business, whether it's a large scale business. So it's very easy to use for everyone, and it's enable you to manage all the interaction with your customer and prospect. So everyone, like customers are happy with the Salesforce, partners are happy with the Salesforce, all the organization which are working on the Salesforce platform, they are also happy. So it's growing, and the success of Salesforce is uh, booming right now. So yeah, that's the Salesforce CRM right now. If you will compare with other CRM now in market, you will find this slide. So here, like other other traditional CRM will cost you high. Salesforce will cost available in and it's hosted like other traditional CRM which are hosted on their own service, like customer or companies, they have to install their server in their office and all. And in Salesforce, you don't need to install anything, as I mentioned earlier. So it's all taken care by Salesforce, and you just need an internet connection. That's it. So, and a traditional CRM, so to build any product and all, uh, it takes months or even years to set up. But in Salesforce, it's like how can I say? It's like in a week or in a few days or in a maximum in a month, you can build any program. And yeah, traditional CRM are difficult to use and all. It's Salesforce is very easy. You will see it and you will enjoy it. Yeah, I know that. So yeah, it's a Salesforce platform, and so it's a platform. If I'll talk if that was the Salesforce like software which are like which is a part of software as a service. Now we are talking about a platform which is provided by Salesforce. So Salesforce has their own platform where we can build, where we can create our application, our customer custom objects. We can play with the data, we can make relationships with the tables, we can do anything, and this is provided by Salesforce, and it is a part of platform as a service. So it's yeah, Salesforce platform makes it possible to bring deeply customized user experience. So if you want to automate anything, if you want to send an email while whenever any any lead has been created, you can automate that thing. You don't need to click anywhere, you don't need to funny it will automatically whenever anyone will be creating a lead, that email will be sent automatically. So that kind of automation you can prepare, you can create in Salesforce. And there are more functionality nowadays, they have introduced Einstein, Salesforce Einstein. So it's totally based on AI. So it will play with your data and it will give you the prediction. It will fetch your voice. So everything is possible now in Salesforce. So yeah, it's a shared data model, and like everywhere, any device, anyone can use this Salesforce platform. So that was about Salesforce platform. And yeah, so here this is the important slide of this. So architecture of Salesforce. So yeah, this today's session is more about, I can say, the theoretical part, because all these things are like theory. I have, and it is very important to describe you all these things because of it is if I'll not describe you anything which is shown here, so tomorrow in the hands-on session and all, you will not get it. So this is the theory part. You might get like you will say like it's a theory I can read anywhere and all. So this is uh, theory, but from tomorrow I'll more focusing on the hands-on session and all. Like we'll be creating objects, we'll be creating relationships, we'll be playing with the data. So today I have covered all the theoretical parts, so don't get confused about it. But yeah, that's how it is. So if anyone having any question, please feel free to ask. Okay. uh, architecture of Salesforce. So yeah, it's a very simple architecture. Salesforce has very it is not very much complicated like others. Salesforce has their like very simple. It's dependent on the multi tenant cloud. So multi tenant means the word itself says that its definition. Multi tenant. What anyone having any guess on multi tenant? What's the mean of multi tenant and how Salesforce architecting their on CRM on the multi tenant? Any guess? Please, if anyone, yeah. Okay, no problem. Let me. Okay, so I'll tell you, multi-tenant is nothing but I'll give you an example. So a building like a apartment. So in apartment, what we need to like multi-tenant can like there are multiple people who are living in a single apartment and they all are using the water, they are all are using the electricity, they all are using the building and the owner of the building, the owner of the full building is providing the service. So multi-tenant is something like that, so that building, water and electricity are shared with the all the tenants. So here in Salesforce is same. So the platform is shared by every customer. So every customer, any company, any partners who are using Salesforce, this platform is shared with everyone. So if you have built, it's like we have created an Android application and we have put that application into that Play Store, so anyone can use. But it depends ki you give the access to all or you charge something and all. So that's totally depend on the customer and the company or the provider. So here like this platform is shared with every tenant. So it's like Google or Drive. Today we have created, I have created that folder and it's shared with the all of us. So it is something like that. So it's a drive I can say, or it's a folder I can say. It's shared with all the customers. So it's a multi-tenant architecture I can say here, and the metadata platform. So Salesforce has the metadata ability as well. So if it's like OOPS concept, if you have any idea about it. So OOPS concept, what we do, we create a class and we can use that class in others. We create a method and use that method in other classes. So we don't need to create every time if it is it having the same functionality. So in metadata, if we are using like if we are using a single functionality to more number of places, then we can create a metadata and then we can use anywhere in Salesforce. Like if you are familiar with Salesforce, I'll give you a simple example. So we have a pick list field in Salesforce. So there is a functionality called global pick list. So we can create a global pick list and we can use in that pick list in any object. So like that, like a country pick list, we can create a country pick list. So countries are same for everyone. So we can create a global pick list and we can use everywhere, every object that pick list. So it's like that, something like. So it's a simple example, and I just want you to understand that thing. So I given that example. there are more functionality of metadata, so we can use that one. Enterprise ecosystem. So enterprise, I'll talk you more about it. So enterprise is nothing but people, if you are using sales cloud and service cloud, so you just need to pay only for those. It's like Dish TV nowadays, or Tata Sky. So what are they doing is Tata Sky and so before, in traditional, if I say, in like before 10 years ago, people have to pay a, a number of amount to their dish TV, or any the provider. So but they will give you full all the channels. But now what is happening here is the dish TV and the other is Tata Sky provider are giving you more, how can I say, the packages are, they are giving packages, whatever you want to choose, you can pay for that as only. So if you are interested to watch only the sports channel, so you don't need to pay the movie, you don't need to pay for the movie channels, you just need to pay for the sports channel. If you want to watch the movies, then you don't need to pay for news channels, you just pay for the movies. So enterprise ecosystem is like that. So if you want to use only sales cloud, then just pay sales for the sales cloud only, you don't need to pay for the others. So it's like that. And CRM and related functionality, as I already told, it's all the CRM things will be taken care of Salesforce, and related functionality which are related by CRM, like managing the customer and managing the database of the all the data. And last is API. So Salesforce provides uh, some powerful APIs which we can use to integrate other platform. Like we can integrate SAP to Salesforce, we can integrate Amazon AWS to Salesforce, we can integrate many other platform with the Salesforce. And we have a Salesforce one mobile Android application as well, Android and iOS application. So we can play with the APIs, and we can use any other external services in our Salesforce. So that's the main architecture of Salesforce. So anyone having any issue, any question? Okay. So this is more, I can say, so it's architecture only. So here are like all the applications, and this is the app actions, which for that I'll be talking more about it. And all the applications, sales, service, marketing, community, analytics, and all are available by Salesforce. And this is the first layer. So this is the first layer where all the IoT and the AI things are happening. So CRM data and which we can't see, like this two layer we can't see. The Einstein and IoT things will be taken care by platform. So platform user who are building application and things, they are working on that, but the end user will be seeing the application only. So other than that, like we have so many platform like Heroku is mm, I don't have much idea about it, but I have like CPQ and Heroku. They are part of Marketing Cloud, and we have Lightning right now. So Lightning platform is available, and the older one is Classic. So we will learn both of them. So uh, people like nowadays Lightning is booming, and every company is looking for the Lightning platform user. So we'll focus on Lightning as well, and we will learn Classic as well. So this is the Salesforce architecture. This is the next example of architecture. So multi-tenant metadata and API. I have added this image so you can get more understanding about it. So yeah, so it's a cloud. The first cloud I'll see like Sales Cloud. Sales Cloud. So you by the name only you can get idea about it. So Sales Cloud is focusing on the sales side of any platform. So if you are going to sell, the Sales Cloud is basically the part of before sending before selling anything. So the process of selling before selling anything. So after a particular product has been sold, then the service cloud, the service process will start. But before selling that product, the process is called sales cloud. So sales cloud is mainly focused on the sales and marketing thing. So for that, like I can say sales cloud is starting basically from the advertising. So if we have a product, like if I'll give example, I have this mobile and I want to sell that mobile. So what do I need to do? Like I need to first I need to advertise that. First I should have that product, which is assuming that we are having that mobile, and then I have to like advertise that. I have to create like I have to give advertisement to, I can give to advertisement to for like TV. I can like organize events. I can like share on social media. So there are so many ways which we can use to like advertise our product. So this is the part of Sales Cloud, and then after the advertisement, we will get leads. So leads are basically the interest people are showing in our product. So if I am having a mobile phone and I want to sell that mobile phone, and I have created like I have organized a event where I have give like I have distributed some pamphlets and I have uh, given a brief intro, or I can like how can I say, like the last time the OnePlus 7 was introduced and they have organized a event, and the launch ceremony has been organized by OnePlus. So it is a part of the advertisement. Then after they would have get some leads from that. So people shown their interest to buy that particular product. So if I'm going to buy my mobile, then I'll advertise, and then people will get interest to buy that, and then I'll get based on that event I'll get leads. So leads are nothing but the interest of people. So how many number of people are giving interest to my product. So I'll get the detail and I will store in the Salesforce platform. So that is leads. Then in Sales Cloud, like we have account and contact and opportunity. I will show you after this slides will complete. I'll show you that leads and account and contact and all. So leads are those, and then from if any people, like I am having, like I have I got 10 leads. So 10 people have interested in are interested to buy that product, my mobile. So I have their mobile number, I have their email ID, I have their contact detail and all. So then I'll go through with the leads assignment and all. So there are some automation, web to lead and all, and auto response. So if like I'm having a website where I have a form, like every website has a form, feedback form, or like there are so many website they are having some form kind of. So if you fill that form, then I will get that details, that particular person's detail in my database automatically. I don't need to take care of the behind thing which is happening after that. But I'll get if anyone is submitting that form online, I'll get a lead in my database. So that kind of automation functionality we have, and auto response as well. So if any lead has been created in our system, that automatic response will be sending to that particular person. So that particular person will get an email that okay, thank you for submitting that feedback, we will let you know. And this type of message, uh, it automatically gets sent to that person. So it is also part of that sales cloud. And so after that lead, so I was talking about lead. And also lead, we have a simple a separate process of lead. So we'll go through, we will call to that particular person, we'll send some email and all. And then if they are really interested, if they are replying those emails, if they are confirmed on phone, then it will be, this will be a part of the opportunity and contact and account. Then we will convert that lead to the account, contact, and opportunity. So then in opportunity we have all the process. So we will send some quotes to them. So if they are agree and if they are ready to buy, then we will sell that particular product to them. So it's a part of it's a full cycle of sales cloud. So sales clouds, some companies having their own the team who are only working on the sales cloud. Some companies are like they have their own separate team who are working on service cloud. So next our part is service cloud. So yeah, this is sales cloud and service cloud. Lead, account, contact, and opportunities are the part of service and sales cloud. So yeah, this is also the slide of telling about sales cloud. You can read more about it here. And the next is service cloud. So service cloud start after selling any product. So if I have sold that my mobile, then I have to give service. So if you are purchasing my mobile and you are facing any issue with that, if my mobile's battery is not working, or any issue you are facing with my mobile, then you will create a case, or you will send some email to me. Then I have to work upon that, like I have to provide you service. So the main service cloud part will start after selling that particular product. So yeah, this is service cloud. And in this service cloud, all the account, contact, and that cases will be the part of service cloud. So cases is the object which is not a part of sales cloud, but it is a part of service cloud. And opportunity and the campaign and all are part of sales cloud, but they are not part of service cloud. So we need to understand that. And I'll let you know, I'll tell you more about it when we will be working on hands-on sessions. We will be creating some sales cloud application, we will be creating some service cloud application, and we will work on that. So yeah, this is the service cloud where more agents will get more product while automating things. And there are knowledge based application. So if anyone, like any service agent, are facing any issue, if I'm having a different issue and service agent doesn't know about it, then he can read that knowledge base, and he can give you more understanding about that particular issue. So we have that kind of functionality as well. And transfer customer experience. So uh, nowadays, in this service cloud also, we have Einstein analytics and the IoT things working. So there are so many things which a service agent don't need to care about it. So live agents and all, so Einstein live agents nowadays, so whenever any customer having any issue, they can type, and that live agent, there is no person who is standing behind that and replying those chats, but it's like same live chats are going online on every website right now. So like that only, if anyone having any issue, he can type in that help and all, whatever we are going to give them. So he can write in that live agent box, and that live agent which is already created by the Salesforce side, it will be replying to that particular email. So that agent will get, the service agent will get less how can I say, he he will get more understanding about any issue. If that issue is really very critical, then only the service agent will get that issue. Otherwise, the live agent will solve their issue. So it is same like that. And security, obviously Salesforce, if Salesforce is there, then security is there, so we don't need to take care about any kind of security in Salesforce. All the security part is taken care by Salesforce. And even like we have governance limit and all. So if we are building any product, we are developing, we are creating code and all, then also we need to take care of governance limit and all. So for that as well, Salesforce has taking care of that security thing. So security is the main like pillar of Salesforce. So yeah, that is about Sales Cloud and Service Cloud. So it is Service Cloud where case management activities and all these live chat and all are a part of Service Cloud. And yeah, this is the field agent controller. So every device can service agent can use every device, any device, like from mobile he can reply, from mobile he can call, or he can close cases and all. Or customer, the live that end user also can create any case from mobile, tablet, and the laptop. And there are more number of other cloud, as I already mentioned: marketing cloud, commerce cloud, community cloud. There are so many clouds available in Salesforce. So marketing cloud mainly focus on the marketing things, how to market any product, how to create advertisement, how to, it's all about marketing. So any live agent who are working in the market, he can use the Salesforce product, and he can give more understanding to any customer. And we have Commerce Cloud, which is mainly focused on the commerce things, uh, like Amazon and Flipkart, things like that. So it's shopping experience for every customer who are working on the who are using the Salesforce Commerce Cloud. So it's mainly focus on the shopping things. And is nothing but to build a relationship with the partner and their customer and their employee. So Community Cloud is their own and very very big topic. And I'll and at the end of this training, we will I will try to bring one of my friend. He's totally working on the Community Cloud, so we'll get more understanding about it. So Community Cloud is the social thing which is happening in any company, like partners. Like if I have a product, then I would have my partners who are using my product. I would have my customer who are using my product. I would have employees who are working for my product. So the connection between all of them, to with me, with my customers, with my partners, and my employees. So that is a Community Cloud. So we can share anything. It's like Salesforce nowadays using community. So Trailblazer community is there to market things. Salesforce has their own partners, and partners are getting closer, and like chatter is available right now, so any partner can like introduce any product to any other partners, can communicate to collaborate to other partners. Employees now using success community and partner portal to collaborate with the customers and partners. So it's all about community. So to building any community, there is a product called Community Cloud we can use. So Salesforce provide that as well, and there are so many other cloud as well. So we'll get more understanding about that. So now the edition, Salesforce edition. So Salesforce has so many editions. I am here like develop, as you know about developer edition. Developer org is free of course, and it has so many limits, but it's totally free, and anyone can register, anyone can use that. It is developer org is built because anyone can learn Salesforce, anyone can practice Salesforce, and anyone can like get more understanding about any product. So Salesforce Are you getting my voice? I got a message unable to hear audio. So
Can hear you now.
okay, now you can hear, is it?
Yes.
Okay. So these are additions, and Salesforce charging per user per month, the charge based on per user per month. So group is charging $25 per user per month. Contact manager is for $5 per user per month, and so on. So this is the performance, and there is a unlimited also. So it is I guess $500 per user per month, but there are so many editions of Salesforce. So we that client and the main like if we are I am going to build any product, so I have to take care of that. So we don't need to much take care of that, just because of we are developer and we are learning Salesforce. So for now don't need to go more deeper in that. So these are some addition, and you can read more about it on Salesforce website. So they have Salesforce has their three environments. So this is the like main focus of Salesforce as well. So in other technology, what do we do is we create a product, or we create a application. If I'm going to create like if I'll talk about Java, so if I am going to create a product, then I'll create a like I'll code in my local machine, and I'll test in my local host and all. Then I'll deploy it to that main thing. Then if I am having any issue after that, if I have deployed, if that my website and my application is live, then if I want to add more thing, or if there is any issue which I want to solve, then what I have to do is I have to make that website or application I have to stop that from live, and I have to work on that in again in my local host, and then I have to deploy it again. So in Salesforce, what Salesforce does is we have three environment. So first one is production, the second one is development, and third one is test environment. So basically, the development is the main object which we are going to work upon. So development it's same like production, but production have these type of additions. Like for production, we need to buy at least one. So developer, as you know, developer is free and anyone can use to learn Salesforce. So I'll not talk about development right now. I'll talk about test and production. So we have two kind of environment. We have three, but we for now for if I am going to build any product, then I have two: test and production. So if I'm going to create any application, if I'm going to build any product, then I'll build that product in test environment. We can build in development as well, and then we can deploy it to production. But that is because there are some limitations. So for if we are going to build any product which is a very small product, then we can build and develop in development. Or but if it's a large product and it's crossing the limit of development environment, then we have to create or we have to purchase test environment. So there are two three types of test environment as well. So we will be like sandboxes are there. So sandbox is the copy of the production. So test environment is nothing but the sandboxes of the production. So there are unlimited sandbox, there is a partial copy sandbox, there is a test copy sandbox. So the developer sandbox are there. So these are the test environments. So what Salesforce employee does is they create their product or application in the test environment, and we test it in the test environment. It is if it is working fine, then we will deploy production environment. And in production environment, that product or that application is getting live. If there is issue in future, like if any product can have any issue. So if you are facing any issue or if you want to add any functionality to our production, then we don't need to we don't need to work on that production. We don't need to, if there is issue, we don't need to simply go open our production and work. No, we work in the our in that, because the product is same product is available in our test environment which we have deployed well when we have created. Then we will work on the test environment only, then we will deploy that product again to the production. So this is the cycle we have to maintain. So there is no issue. So if inactivity and all, so customers will get every time that live product will be available for every customer. So this thing of these are the environment which is provided by Salesforce, and we have to take care of that. So yeah, last I guess Salesforce releases. Uh, so there are three releases as you all know, I guess. So there are three releases in a year of Salesforce. So Salesforce bring more features, and they release their like in Android and all things right now. Nowadays is like if there is an update is coming, then they will release their update and we have to install. But in Salesforce, they will release that update, and it will automatically get populate in our system. We don't need to install, it will get automatically populate in our system. So there are three releases, and they have already delivered 150 and more than 150 releases. They deliver every year 3 years. So first one is spring, which is coming around in February. Second one is summer, which is coming around in June. Third one is winter, which is in October. So these three releases are there in Salesforce, and till now there are so many, and they have special logo for every release. So latest one was that Now it is winter 20, but I have not uh, put that logo here. So it was the summer 19. So these are releases, and the last thing is App Exchange. So App Exchange is nothing but the Play Store, or I can say Apple Store. So it was first introduced in 2005. So that Apple Store, the Mark Benioff and the, so they have made any a decision with the Apple. So first, so before there were no App Store on Play Store available in the market. So first, the App Store is available by Salesforce. Then they have changed their name. So Apple has made like a, how can I say, a partnership with Salesforce, where they have taken that name iStore and they have used that name. Before that, that iStore was name of that Apex, and then Salesforce has decided Apex to that. So it was introduced in 2005, and so many applications nowadays available on Apex. uh, there are free application as well, there are paid application as well. If you want to use, you can use, you can install, you can uninstall, you can like whatever you want to do, you can do. Like in app in our Apex and in Play Store, if you are using Android, there is a Play Store. If you are using iOS, there is iStore available. So there are so many applications are available, you can install in your mobile. So it's like same like this. So, and we can build our own application and we can deploy to Apex, so anyone can also use. So App Exchange is like Play Store, and there are like, now it is like more than 3,500, I guess. It this photo is a bit old, so 2,800 plus are showing here, pre-integrated. So integration, you don't need to take care of integration with others, other system as well, and they all are trusted by Salesforce, because Salesforce, if you are going to deploy any application into Salesforce, then they are charging, and they have a process which, for that I we need to like pass that process, and then only that application will be available on that App Exchange. So it was reviewed by all the customers as well. You can see any application by the rating and all.